Well, yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I'm okay. Okay. Honestly, it was like I started feeling stuff like that I never felt before. And like what I mean by that is like I would be around certain people and like well, I didn't know what it was, but now I know like the energy was off with them. Like when it came to me. And I kept feeling it like, what is going on? Like I had no idea like what was happening. And I started seeing angel numbers everywhere, which I didn't know what they were. I started seeing that everywhere and I'm like, what? Like I've never seen the time 1111 like 111 and then 222 like that. And I'm like, wait, maybe I should look this up. And I started seeing like, oh, this is oh these are angel numbers. I'm like, wow, okay, okay. And and
Seem like we having more difficulties. Let's see if I can get her back on. Yeah, StreamYard kicked her out. Okay, there you are.
I'm like, what happened? It kicked me out for a bit, but
It's it's StreamYard. It's StreamYard. I think I don't know. Maybe the more I use it, maybe it'll get accustomed to my system or something. I don't know. That's weird. But I told you, like But anyway, back to the story at hand. You were last speaking about angel
oh the
numbers. How?
feelings, yeah, and the angel numbers. And I started like having like dreams like that I could remember. Like and it wasn't just like I could remember my dreams. It was like I could smell things and remember that I smelled something in my dream and I'm like, what? This has never happened to me before. And I feel like I was being drawn to like practice spirituality or like basically walk into the spiritual world because it was like it was crazy. I started seeing stuff in the clouds and stuff. And I'm like, wait, is that a face? Like, what is going on? And I'm like, oh, it was crazy. It was so crazy. And this one time, I saw a figure in the clouds that looked like my grandmother. And I was like, it was so crazy. So I started to look into it more and stuff. And I'm like, okay, maybe, my grandmother want me to communicate with her. So I started buying cards, like tarot cards for myself to like, and it was like I would get these readings, I would do these readings, and I'd be like, wait a minute, why is showing these people that I know in in this way? Like it's so weird because I would see like I started getting to the point where like I wanted to ask about how people felt about me, and I would see stuff like the Five of Swords, the Two of Cups in the reverse, like stuff like that. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. So I started second guessing myself, like maybe this is, maybe I'm doing it wrong or something. But then I started dreaming about these people. And that's when I was like, you know what? I need some spiritual guidance. I was like, God, please send me somebody. And I kid you not, I kid you not, I started seeing your stuff like on my feed in Facebook, and I was like, oh,
Oh wow.
okay, yes. And I was like, oh, because before I was joining groups and stuff, and I'm like, well, I don't know if this, and I would feel like something in the group, like it would be like, oh, I don't feel comfortable here, stuff like that. So I'd be like, maybe that's not for me and stuff. And Then I found your group. I found the House of Truth, and I was like, "What's this?" Like, Then I got my first reading, and I was like, "Oh snap!" Like she's seeing everything that I saw in my dreams in the cards. I'm like, oh my god, this real." Like I started, my heart started palpitating. I'm like, "Oh my god, it's real." It's like, it's like because like honestly, like if I was to tell somebody who like don't know what I'm talking about, I would look crazy as heck. Like, but
Yeah.
when you get this, like when spirit verifies the information you receive through someone else that doesn't
Yeah.
even
Then
know
you
you
know.
and your situation,
Hmm.
that's when you know it's legit.
Hmm.
And then because before when I would feel like, oh, like the spirit telling me like basically to let people go. And I would be like, but for what? Like, I knew this person for 10 years, 15 years. But
Hmm.
then these are the people I started dreaming about. So I was just like, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to just do what spirit says and stuff like that because I knew it was a lot within me that I had to work on.
Hmm.
Because I've always had
That's for all of
issues with
us.
my mental health. Yeah, yeah. I've always had issues with my mental health. And like after I had my son, it was like scary for me. Like I would see like stories about people going to try to get help through therapy and they getting their kids taken. I'm like, hold on, I'm scared now. And
Hmm.
then something similar happened to me. I went to the doctor's office. I told her how I felt, and she basically held my son hostage in the back until I agreed to go seek um, counsel. And I'm like, okay, I'll go to a counselor, but I didn't. Like that was like years ago. I didn't go. I just wanted my son back because it was scary.
Hmm.
But now I have been working on my mental health. I have actually prayed and I found a therapist that's for me, and
It's
I'm
good.
so grateful for that. And I'm doing much better mentally than I was before. Even though I still got a lot to work on, I'm in a much better headspace.
Yeah.
So
That's good. That's beautiful. It's
thank you.
tragic how we have to, what we have to go through to get to these awakenings. It's usually it's what we go through that causes these, epiphanies as, the light
Yeah,
bulb comes on. Hmm. Now, what I want to know is what were some of the challenges you had to face? And I know you just gave me a few, but when it comes to like, how can I put it? Because after
how
you
was
have
life
your,
life?
huh?
How was life life?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
for
basically,
real.
um, so it started off with little things like I would fall a lot, like I was really clumsy out of nowhere, and I would keep falling and stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
a freaking cast iron pot fell on my head and everything. Like I'm so serious. And then I would see like I don't know, like a lot of stuff happening. Like my son would go through bullying at school. At the same time, my job is
Mm-hmm.
being fishy with my paycheck. Like all of these things were happening back to back. And then I started hearing about spiritual warfare. And I was like, oh, that's probably what this is. So in the beginning, it was like little things like that. And then like once I let everybody go, I figured, it was still probably a couple of positive people in my corner. So one of them, who happens to be my ex, he reached out to me, and we started linking up again. And because we went to prom together, I was like, okay, maybe I can trust you and stuff
Oh.
like that. And he was always a clean person, and always stayed up with his like testing and stuff like that. So he would show me like, I'm negative and all this stuff. But what he didn't tell me was that he had tuberculosis. And I feel like he knew that if he would deal with me, he would be giving it to me, and he didn't disclose
Mm-hmm.
anything to me. And this was 2 years ago that I found out that I had it, and and at the time I was working at a daycare, and so I have to get those tests like frequently because of me being around children.
Mhm.
So when it came out positive, I actually stopped going to work, and I was like, okay, what is this? Like, what is going on? And they were like, yeah, you have tuberculosis. They gave me the medicine. I was taking it, and I was crying. Like, I just felt like, why should I try? Why should I try anything if this is happening to me right now? And like,
Mhm.
honestly, I was just like, I give up. Like, I don't want to be here anyway. So, and but then I was like, there's a little person who looks up to me. Granted, he's about to be a teenager, but he looks up to me, So it's like I had to start to really take care of myself because it was a struggle in the beginning. Like I could not get past this diagnosis. I couldn't get past the fact that people that I loved for years were doing all these things to me, and like speaking on me negatively and stuff like that. And it broke me a little bit. Like I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while to pick myself back up because it was something that I wasn't used to. It's like everybody's mask fell off at the same time, and I couldn't handle it. So, like before, I was afraid to deal with my mental health, but then now this year, I think this year is more of my improvement year. I know it took a while for me to get here, but I'm glad I'm here now.
Yeah.
Because like when I went to the doctor recently, she told me like I don't have it. Like I don't have tuberculosis anymore. Like, oh,
I told you to get
thank
that
you,
second
Jesus.
opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And I was so happy, and I was like, wow, like I couldn't believe it. And even at the time, like I was smoking and drinking because I wanted to get something in me to like let go of the pain. But
Mhm.
I have not been smoking for like 3 months, but I haven't drank for 2 years, and I feel like those were milestones that I should have celebrated. But because of what my
Most
mind was going through at
definitely.
the time, yeah, because of what my mind was going through at the time, I just feel like, oh, it doesn't even matter. Maybe I shouldn't even try, blah, blah, blah. But the way life was like hitting me, like even now, recently on October 1st, I lost my job. And it was so crazy because even though they said I lost my job, recently I was able to like put in hours. It was so weird. It was I was able to put in my hours and they got approved. Before they were like, oh, because I'm a caregiver and my patient is through Medicaid. And the Medicaid, I guess they wasn't doing the program anymore, and it said not Medicaid not eligible. And so when I went back to check something because I was freaking out, like I'm scared, like I don't want to lose my apartment, I don't want my life to go off. And I'm like, well, let me try to apply for like unemployment this way. And I'm like, okay. And I go in and it's like good to be paid. I'm like, excuse me? Where did
That's a
this come
blessing.
from? Yes.
That's
And
a
I was like, oh
blessing.
my God, thank you, Lord, because I didn't know that I was going to be able to have any funds. Like, seriously, because I even applied for food stamps last month. And I figured, like, by this time, this month, I will probably have them, and I still don't. But I was able to keep food in my refrigerator. Like,
That's what's up.
it was so crazy. And then I started thinking about how Jesus fed 5,000 people with, I think, 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. And I'm like, I feel like God gave me 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish and was like, here, feed everybody. And I was like, hold on, Jesus. Wait a minute now. It's me and a whole bunch of other folks here. So how I'm supposed to do this? But God has been making a way for me, and it's like through all I'm going through now, I'm still able to smile and laugh and keep a positive mindset. And I was
Good.
not able to do this before, and it
That's
was
good.
like it's so crazy because
Mm.
I feel like a couple of years ago I would have been gave up. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
But that
yeah,
shows
but
that you went through this transition. You became stronger. You know what I'm saying? You didn't allow
yeah,
your adversities to beat you down and drag you down. And even if it did, you didn't stay there. You know, you had to get back up, keep pushing forward, keep moving forward for real. What practices have you partaked in that helped you along the way? What type of practices have you?
Um, so it started by me. Uh, I didn't know it was mirror marriages. I didn't know it was mirror magic, but I would like talk to myself like as if I'm somebody else, giving myself encouragement, like it's right, you got this, God got you, you're gonna be okay. Then I started praying more, and
Yeah.
I would be guided to Bible verses, and I remember like some of the words and stuff, but I wouldn't remember like exactly where scripture is. But like I was guided to so many things, and I feel like I started pulling them in. Like anything that was about God, let me read it, let me listen to it. So maybe this is pertaining to me. And it's true, like I would see things like God made us a promise. It's just you guys gotta keep going. And that's what I kept doing. That's what I keep saying to myself. And I would pray more, do a little Bible study and stuff like
That's
that.
what's up.
Because there's like this thing on like TikTok and stuff where they said I didn't find God in the church, and I didn't. I didn't find God in the church. I found God when I was curled up in my bed, crying my eyes out at two
Mm-hmm.
o'clock in the morning because I didn't know from which way my food was gonna come in or when my ship was gonna roll in. Because sometimes, I feel like my ship was sailing away somewhere, like I done lost it, but when once it's like once I started feeling like okay, I have to like meditate and like keep a positive mind frame. Like once I had to like feed myself that because one thing for sure is like I kept giving like pouring from my cup until my cup was empty,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't keep pouring from an empty cup. I have to feed my soul. I have to fill my own cup up because if not, well, I have to let God fill my cup up because He said my cup was going to run it over. And I can't keep, giving, giving, giving because all folks are going to do is take, take, take from me. So I decided, I'm going to start doing this for me. And
Mm-hmm.
it was so hard. I didn't realize how hard it was to put myself first. Like, I never realized how hard it was until I actually started doing it. And not for nothing, it started breaking my heart to constantly tell people, no, I can't. I'm
I
sorry, I
know,
can't do
right?
this anymore. Because I started feeling like I'm bad, like I'm a bad person, like, oh, I feel so bad. But I feel like this is what I had to do in order to get to where I am right now. And
Yeah.
it was like I I started seeing the messages in everything. Like what I was watching at the time, it'll be a little glimpse of something, and I'm like, "Oh, that's right for me. I think that's for me." And it was so crazy. So now I when I dream, I write it down. Whenever I get like a message outside, I write it down. Or if I'm outside and I see something that clouds for me, I'll record it because then I ain't gonna believe myself later on if I wrote it down. I can't
Right.
believe I saw that. But
Right.
when I go back to watch these videos that I took, I'm like, wow, I don't see number fours in the clouds. Never seen this before. Like
I
I
remember
don't
you
even
were
think.
showing me that and posting it.
Yeah,
I remember that. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I don't even think like I don't even think before I used to look at the clouds. Like I don't even think I had to take the time out to
Oh,
actually smell the roses. You know what I mean? But like
yeah.
then it started like everything started kind of coming together. So I just was like, let me keep going on this path because I like it here. Even though it's a little road that's rocky, but I'm getting there
Right.
because
Right. Well, that's
I
good.
feel like we a lot of people on the same road, but we all got different obstacles. So
Mm-hmm. That's facts. That's facts. We all going through something. Real talk,
mhm.
for real. So, you do meditations? Do you work with crystals? Do you
Yeah,
things of
I
that?
do. I work
Okay.
with crystals and incense, and I pray to God. And,
Okay.
I thank God for like my spiritual team, like my ancestors, my angels, everybody. Even the people that He brought in, I thank God for them too.
Right.
And they,
I do
you know,
too. Yeah.
keep like keep bringing them people in for me to keep blossoming as I should. So yeah,
Right. So that's
that's
good.
it.
You're not running from these adversities or these tests that are being brought or presented to you, but facing it head on, even though they could be challenging. I think that's beautiful. That's beautiful energy. What would you encourage others to do different if they are going through the same thing or a similar experience as you? What would you encourage others to do?
To listen to that inner voice, because a lot of the times I found myself saying like, I don't think I should go here, or I don't think I should do that, but I did it anyway. And it's kind of like adding
Mm,
another lump to what the hill I gotta climb already. And it was like I had to like really sit there and like pause and say like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have gone there, and also to like learn to hold yourself accountable, rather or not. Like I know, like a lot of people see, like I hate that so and so put me through this or so and so put me through that, but you got to hold yourself accountable because you
mm,
let so and so put you through this stuff
that,
without because you know you wanted to like overlook all the red flags and ended up being hurt in the process.
mm,
Also see people for who they are, not who your mind made them up to be. Because uh, in my situations, I've been in relationships where I was abused and manipulated. But once somebody came along, even if they was like an F boy, they didn't put their hands on me or they wasn't yelling at me. Oh my God, he on the highest pedestal. Like pause, because there's
right.
something negative about this one too. Calm down, calm down, sister. Something negative about this one too. So but then you also got to work on you on your inside. Like stop worrying about like what's coming in, because what's gonna come for you is gonna come for you. So don't worry
Facts.
about that. Worry about becoming the person you want to be to obtain those things and to hold it, because I mean, like, if one thing happened, I'm like, oh God, God don't love me, and God like, girl, sit down, all right, because
Right. Yeah.
he'll literally show me something that made me okay. God do love me, all right, God do love me, but
Right.
it's like you got to learn to like listen to your heart, listen to yourself, listen to the word, like even if you're not like even if you're not deep into religion, I'm pretty sure you can find something in the Bible that pertains to your situation. And
Facts.
was
I,
yeah, that will teach you how to move forward and to keep your faith. And all you need is the faith is the size of a mustard seed. And if you see how small a mustard seed is, you'll
truth.
know that it ain't that much. And you just gotta keep going, no matter what. Like don't go backwards. Don't go backwards at all, because it's gonna be you're gonna get to a point in your life where you up here, and somebody from your past gonna be a test and gonna try to pull you back down here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
So yeah, don't let none of that, discourage you from becoming the person that you want to be. And don't let nobody tell you that your dreams too big. Don't let nobody tell you your
Mm-hmm.
dreams too big. You want to be an actress, you go in and work on yourself. You go to acting school if you can. Choose to
Mm-hmm.
work. You don't even have to go to acting school, because a lot of people who then did acting, they ain't even go to school. Like for example, if somebody who's a
True.
screenwriter, somebody who is a screenwriter. Now, The Godfather is a very good movie. They had like a whole bunch of ratings. They don't won awards and stuff. The man who wrote the script, he didn't go to school to write scripts. As a matter of fact, when he turned around, and y'all can go look this up, when he turned around and said, like, okay, now I want to go to school to do this. Do you know that the book that they had to get have his script in it? The book
Mm.
that they had to use had his script in it. Imagine that. Now imagine
Right.
if he would have said, if somebody would have told him like, "Oh, you're not gonna do no movies, right?" and he would have listened, he would have been down bad because that was his
Facts.
calling. That was his
Mm-hmm.
calling. Like it's like listen to what you know what you know. It's like some people they can sing, but they're not doing nothing with their voices. Like it's something. It, it's something. You see me pointing. It's something you need to be doing with your voice because you sound beautiful, and it's like it's angelic, and it's something
Thank
you
you.
should be doing with your voice. So, like I told you that before.
Yes.
I told you it's something you got to do with your voice, and it's like I'm learning this now. Like I'm learning, like me, I'm supposed to be some type of storyteller, like some type of person that uses their voice because even though I came into this my first time being on a podcast, I was so nervous and stuff like
Oh,
that. But
no.
it's like all the messages is flowing, like all my feelings is just flowing out, and it's something really to be passionate about because, like, honestly, I feel like you got multiple feelings because you've helped me with your messages and stuff. Like all your readings has helped me a lot to get through like certain things. And like because when I don't see a way out and I'm still like, okay, God, I know you got me, but I'm scared, da 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 da. And here come your reading. And you can't be scared. I'm like, hold on, Jesus, you telling her what I told you? Like, hold on. But you know, it's like it's just work on you and be positive. And right now I looked at the time, it's 4:44. It's just
What?
you have like
Crazy.
you have your angels there, you have your ancestors there. You just gotta reach out to them. You just gotta pray. Like me, I talk to God like he in the room, like, and God, I don't even know why they over here bother me like this, for real. And my brother will come downstairs like, who you talking to?
Who
I'm
you talking
talking to
to?
God. We having a conversation.
Right.
Okay, we're talking. Like you know,
Right.
so it's like you gotta keep going. You can't worry about and don't compare yourself because comparing yourself could be like very detrimental. You could be seeing people who hurt you doing better than you. But that's
We
not
all
to
on
say that you're
different
not gonna do
journeys.
good. Yeah, that's
Facts.
not to say that you're not gonna do good too. So you just worry about your own path, your own journey, your own road, and drink water. Mind your business. You know, eat healthy. Do what you gotta do because at the end of the day, God not gonna ask you how what they did to you because He see it. He gonna ask what you did afterwards
Facts.
because what did you do? What did you do after this happened? Did you learn the
Right.
lesson? Because that's another thing you got to do. Make sure you learn the lesson because one thing I've noticed about my life, I've dated the same person in different bodies over and over because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
learn the lesson. And that's what's
Mm-hmm.
gonna happen. You're gonna keep getting the same type of friends until you learn the lesson. You're gonna keep getting the same type of lovers until you learn the lesson. And you gotta value yourself. Don't I know it's hard for like people to like value themselves because I didn't even know what that meant until one day I got a message like from God, like basically saying like if your friend was hurt, like if somebody hurt your friend, you would be really off the wall, like, oh no, why did they do this to you? You have to be that person for yourself because a lot of times you're not gonna get the same thing out
Mm-hmm.
that you're putting out there with these
Mm-hmm.
people
It's true.
who don't really deserve you. You're not because
Facts.
you are still overlooking stuff. Like some people, they still want to be friends with people who, oh, I know we went through this and the third, but listen, you're not supposed to bring everybody with you. You're not.
With you,
God
yep.
gonna show you over and
Yep.
over. God gonna show you over
Mm-hmm.
and over that person, and it's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
to see them for the
Right.
person that God shows you they are. You know, so I'm very
True.
grateful for like that.
That's true. That's true though. So let's see. The next question is, what lesson was learned that helped you to become a better you than yesterday? What lesson did you learn?
Well, multiple lessons. I learned to not basically not give as free. Well, not okay. Wait, let me take it back. When I give, right? Don't
Mm-hmm.
expect. Don't give in the way that you're expecting to get it back. Okay,
Facts.
like
That's
you have to
facts.
just yeah. I have to learn to just have the part of me that gives love and just lead with that because a lot of times I was walking around with a chip on my shoulder about what this person did, what that person did. But I feel like when I had that chip on my shoulder, I lost a lot of connections that could have been really good. Like because I was paranoid about, repeating cycles. So I feel like if you if you address the issue within yourself, it'll come to pass. Like it will pass because once once you get that chip off your shoulder, you'll be able to see things clearer, and it's like you'll be able to keep your peace. Like you'll be able
Yeah.
to keep your peace. Like I didn't realize how how much holding a grudge was taking away my peace until I let
Mm-hmm.
most of the grudges go. Like I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it. It's about two of them people that I still got to work on, like praying, like, oh, I hope they heal from whatever they've been through so they won't put other people through what they put me through. So that's how I'm looking at it now.
Facts. Facts.
Before it was like, oh, I want them to feel exactly how I feel because no, I don't want them to be out here feeling all happy and skipping through the meadows. I want them to feel how I feel, but then I had to take a step
Did
back
you say
because
skip it through the meadows?
yeah, I had to take a step back because it was like no, a lot of people go through things that I mean, even though you're supposed to know how to maneuver as adults, like you're not supposed to treat people certain ways based off what you've been through. But it's like a lot of people don't click in a lot of people's mind. A lot of people like to be on some do them how they do you. So it's like that's how I was. And it's like, no, I can't be
Mm-hmm.
that way. I want to continue to be myself because that felt like I was diminishing the person who I was inside. Like I was becoming
Mm-hmm.
somebody else in order
Yep.
to like protect myself. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna keep doing people the way they do me. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be the kind me I know I am. I'm gonna be the giver that I know I am. I'm gonna be that person because at the end of the day, some people don't even know how to love correctly. And it
Facts.
wasn't because it's not because of something you did, it's because of how they were brought up or something that you had no idea about. And I had to think about it like you don't know what people go through. Some people got silent battles that they fight every day, but they don't tell anybody about it. So I'm like, maybe you gotta like chill out because I know me. You did a reading that said I gotta learn how to communicate better because when like something happens, like basically I go off. So like that's what I was trying to do, like learn like how to like express myself without being so like having a serpent tongue and being so like lashing out at people and stuff like that. So once you learn how to like do that, it's like easy to transmit your pain into like profit or like really like gain peace because it's like
Right.
you're not holding on to something that it don't even matter anymore because some people don't even admit they're wrong because they don't see it as them being wrong,
Mm-hmm.
because of what they
It's
went
true.
through. And so I can't like just like you don't, I don't want nobody to judge me. I don't want to judge people because one thing about me, because I was so insecure growing up about being plus size, I became promiscuous at an early age. And
Mm-hmm.
that was like a cause and effect. I was insecure, cause,
Mm-hmm.
and what happened after that was I was promiscuous. Now, when people see me that knew me from back then, they might think I'm still living the same life, but I'm not. I've been celibate for like 3 years
Totally
now.
different person.
Yes, and it's like I wouldn't want people to still judge me based on my past actions. So
Right.
I'm trying to like find a way, like I try to find a way inside me, like to like look at people's, like look at things from different perspectives, not just my own. Because
Right.
sometimes you gotta, because like my therapist told me about how sometimes like you'll see that somebody went through something and you're like, oh wow, that's crazy, but and that's like the sympathy. But to have
Mm-hmm.
empathy, you have to be able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, and
Shoes.
like you'll
Mm-hmm.
feel it stronger because it'll be like, oh my gosh, you went through this. Like I never knew that. Like, cause I would have done this, or I would have felt that. But it's like you can't, you really can't judge a book by its cover. You can't judge
Facts.
people from what they went through. And like I was telling my aunt, right? I was telling my aunt she's a Jehovah's Witness, and she used to do something that really made me so upset. And she used to see like homeless people or like people who are drunk and be like, tell her son like this is why you got to go to school. You got to go to school so you won't be a drunk or addict or
Wow.
whatever. And I would like no, I would tell her like no, I know some veterans that are on the street. I know
Mm-hmm.
when I was
Mm-hmm.
younger, I met a girl who she was on dope, but she gained this addiction because she was a dancer and she broke
Mm-hmm.
something and she was on opioids, you know, and that's how
Right.
she got addicted. So you don't know what people are going through
People
in
had
their
to go
lives. You
through.
can't just
Wow.
yeah,
She
you
telling her
can't just
child
look at
this.
it. Yes, you can't just look at what's outside anymore. You got to learn how to determine, like, oh wow, this is what happens to you. Like it's a whole thing. So like,
That's
cause I
terrible.
used to take yeah, I used to take everything for face value. Oh no, this person is doing this. That's horrible. But then when you find out what this person went through, and it makes you emotional. It's like, oh my gosh, like I feel bad. That's how I felt. So
Yeah.
now with this new mindset, that's how I go into the world because I don't want to judge people. Like that's why I ask questions. I start talking to people, even the people that be outside asking for change. I talk to them and I figure out what they going through. It's like
Right.
you gotta talk to people to know about them. You'll never
Right.
know with just looking. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I feel.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like that you are pushing forward on your journey, not looking back. You know what I'm saying? Getting the clarification, the clarity that you need. So you don't be bogged down with burdens and things of this nature and pressured by, depression. And I think that's beautiful. You're not letting anything hold you back. And that's how we all should be. But you don't know, you an inspiration to me as well. Your stories, when times you get readings, that helped me too. Because I think we got the same type of mouthpiece. Okay. Yeah, I might be kind of saucy too. But
Yeah,
at the same time, it's a lesson. It's been times, we use our mouthpiece and they have experienced loss behind it. And it's okay. You
yeah.
know, as long as we mature enough, woman enough to know what it is that caused us to be in a certain position, or, you know, we can work on it. It's always time to work on it. We still living, breathing, waking up every day. You hear me? You know.
Hmm.
But it has been a pleasure talking with you, Tysheema.
Thank
I
you.
told
Thank
y'all
you
she
for
got them
having me.
cute plump cheeks. Look at them cheeks.
Thank you for
I love.
having me. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you giving me a chance to tell my story and stuff. Yeah. Thank you
Yeah,
so
most
much.
definitely. And I'm hoping we can come back on here maybe a month or two from now and see the progression and see what's going on. And if there is anything holding you back, let's get these decks out and let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And talk about what needs. That's for the both of us. I am not.
Yeah.
No one is exempt from growth and maturing. But I am
Right.
hoping to speak to you once again. Like I said, later on down the line, it most definitely has been a pleasure. And thank you for being a part of House of Truth, sis. I love you.
I love you too.
Now, thank you once again for chiming into House of Truth's podcast. This has been fun. I like this. This is, yeah. I most definitely we will be back again for another podcast interview, talking to ones, allowing them and to share their story. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody has a story to tell. And I wouldn't mind being a part of that journey. Okay. Please, let's take care of ourselves. Okay. Before we try to take care of anybody else, you are most important than anything or anybody. And once again, thank you for chiming in the House of Truth. See you guys later.